Coming up at number 20 is Petronas Tower 1, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, which stands at 1,483 feet. It was built in 1998, and would you believe that this used to be the tallest building in the world? Well, it was, although that title got snatched away in 2004 by an even taller building we'll discuss later in the video. The architect responsible for designing this gigantic building, Caesar Pelli, was inspired by Islamic motifs, and the 8-pointed star shape captures the Malaysian culture at the fullest. Standing at 1,483 feet tall, the Petronas Tower is home to many offices, shopping centers, and even a concert hall. As for the cost of building it, the figure falls somewhere around $0.16 billion. Not bad for one of the world's most recognizable towers. Number 19. Changsha IFS Tower T1, Changsha, China, 1,483 feet. And just like the Petronas Tower, this too stands at 1,483 feet tall. It also houses several offices, retail stores, and luxury apartments. But no, it doesn't have a concert hall. It has something much cooler. So what exactly am I talking about? An ice skating rink as high as 70 floors above. In total, the Changsha T1 tower has 94 floors, and it was built by the China State Construction Engineering. I have to mention that this tower anchors Changsha's commercial hub. It is popular for attracting top luxury brands and multi-million-dollar companies. In fact, the malls alone are so big that you'd probably need a GPS to navigate your way around. There's something you need to know though. The Changsha T1 has a twin, but we can't talk about it in this video. I mean, why talk about the exact same thing twice? Number 18. The Exchange 106, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 1,488 feet. The city of Kuala Lumpur makes a return to our list, and this time it's the Exchange 106. I mean, this building is really tall, as it stands at a whopping 1,488 feet above ground. But it isn't just its height that makes it stand out. It's covered in a modern glass facade that makes it look as expensive and as official as a commercial building can be. The name Exchange 106 didn't come by accident. The building has exactly 106 stories, which serves as the inspiration for the name. But it isn't just the number of stories that makes this building so special, as it also features several luxury interiors. These include high-end office spaces and marble-clad lobbies. In fact, one can confidently say that there aren't too many office spaces in Asia better than the ones inside the gigantic Exchange 106. Number 17. Vincom Landmark 81, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, 1,513 feet. Now, if you think the buildings we've discussed so far are tall, then think again, because it just keeps getting bigger and taller. I have to say, this is the kind of building that is fit to be in a country's bustling capital city. Landmark 81 is no slouch when it comes to height, as it stands at 1,513 feet above ground. Literally, this is a building other buildings look up to in the capital city. The building has several luxury apartments and a massive shopping mall, but that's not all, as there's also the Vin Pearl Hotel right inside. Now here's a little piece of information that might interest you. The Landmark 81 can boast having one of the highest observation decks in all of Southeast Asia. Number 16. Lakhta Center, St. Petersburg, Russia, 1,516 feet. I'm sure you've heard of Gazprom, the largest energy company in Russia. Well, the company's headquarters is located right inside the Lakhta Center in St. Petersburg, Russia. But that's not the only thing that makes this building special, as it's also one of the tallest in the world. So just how tall am I talking about? 1,516 feet tall, to be specific. The center was built in 2019, and it has as many as 87 stories. But besides its height, the design also makes it stand out among the rest. The architects built the Lakhta Center with a swirling, flame-like design to represent energy, and it holds the title of the tallest building in Europe. This is why it doesn't come as a surprise that it took as much as 7 years to build, but the effort was clearly well worth it. Number 15. Central Park Tower, New York City, USA, 1,550 feet. But how can we talk about the world's tallest buildings without mentioning the city of New York? This is where Central Park Tower comes in. Standing at 1,550 feet, this building is fondly called the world's tallest residential building. It opened in 2020 on Billionaires Row, and it has as many as 98 floors. But this is not your average residential building, as each floor boasts super luxury apartments fit for kings. Seriously, apartments inside the Central Park Tower cost as much as $100 million and above. But even though the building is primarily for residential purposes, the first few floors host the Nordstrom department store, which makes sense, being that even rich residents need to do some shopping every now and then. Number 14. Wuhan Greenland Center, Wuhan, China, 1,560 feet. Next on our list is the Wuhan Greenland Center in China, which stands at a ridiculous 1,560 feet. According to the initial design, this building was actually supposed to be taller and was only cut back due to aerospace restrictions. I have to mention that it was built in 2023, making it one of the newest buildings in this video. But being new takes nothing away from its glory. I mean, it has 101 floors, which mixes both luxury residences and office spaces, and is one of the tallest buildings in China point blank. In fact, if not for China's aerospace restrictions, who knows how tall the Greenland Center would have been? Probably the tallest in the world. Number 13. International Commerce Center, Hong Kong, China, 1,588 feet. Another Chinese building makes our list, and it's none other than the International Commerce Center in Hong Kong. This monstrous building is 1,588 feet tall, and it has as many as 108 stories, which is amazing. Inside the ICC, you will find the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, which is one of the highest swimming pools in the world. The ICC also has an observation deck called Sky 100, which gives you probably the best views of all of Hong Kong. Number 12. Shanghai World Financial Center, Shanghai, China, 1,614 feet. Let me start with some fun trivia. Do you know why the Shanghai World Financial Center is nicknamed the bottle opener? That's because it has a massive rectangular cutout at the top to reduce wind pressure. For a building that's 1,614 feet tall, this was a necessary innovation. The tower was built in 2008, and it has up to 101 floors. Now, let me hit you with another fun fact. Remember the rectangular cutout I spoke of earlier? Well, it was initially a circular cutout at the top of the skyscraper, but it resembled a Japanese flag, and that is a huge no-no for the Chinese. Number 11. Taipei 101, Taipei, Taiwan, 1,667 feet. Moving on, Taipei 101 used to be the world's tallest building up until 2010. It's 1,667 feet tall, and it has the world's largest mass damper, which is a 660-ton sphere that helps to stabilize the building in the event of an earthquake or typhoon. But even with its height, it scores major points thanks to its LEED Platinum certification. This building isn't just tall, it's tough and eco-friendly too. Number 10. CITIC Tower, Beijing, China, 1,731 feet. Now it's time to literally take things to greater heights. I'm talking about the CITIC Tower in Beijing, which stands at a whopping 1,731 feet. Also known as the China Zun, this tower has a unique bottle shape and as many as 109 floors. The overall design is quite commendable too, as it depicts ancient Chinese vessels that blend Chinese history with futuristic elements. Inside, you'll find a blend of hotel spaces, offices, and even an observation deck. Number 9. Tianjin CTF Finance Center, Tianjin, China, 1,739 feet. The Tianjin CTF Finance Center was built in 2019, and it houses several offices, residential apartments, and even hotels. It has a jaw-dropping 97 floors, and its curved glass facade not only makes it look cool, but also helps reduce the impact of heavy winds. Simply put, this monstrous work of architecture is one of the world's most innovative towers by a long shot. Number 8. Guangzhou CTF Finance Center, Guangzhou, China, 1,739 feet. With as many as 111 floors, this 1,739-foot skyscraper called the Guangzhou CTF Finance Center in China is as tall as they come. Inside, you'll find a mix of residential and retail spaces, and it's one of the most energy-efficient buildings in the world. It was also built with predominantly sustainable materials, so it isn't just tall, it's also kind to the environment. Number 7. One World Trade Center, New York City, USA, 1,776 feet. New York pops up again on the list, this time with the One World Trade Center. It stands at 1,776 feet tall and it has a jaw-dropping 94 floors. But here's a fun fact. Did you know that the height of this building is symbolic? Yep, it's 1,776 feet tall, and America received its independence in 1776. Number 6. Lot World Tower, Seoul, Korea, 1,819 feet. The Lot World Tower in Seoul is up next. It opened in 2017 and it stands at a whopping 1,819 feet. It should come as no surprise that this tower has up to 123 stories, which is among the highest on this list. Inside the tower, you will find everything from luxury apartments to exquisite residential spaces and even a high-end shopping mall. But what makes this building truly special is the glass-bottom observation deck on the top floor. Number 5. Ping An Finance Center, Shenzhen, China, 1,965 feet. The Ping An Finance Center in China opened in 2017 and is one of the country's most amazing architectural achievements. Standing at 1,965 feet, it has 115 floors dedicated to office spaces and hotels. Thanks to its sleek design, it isn't just a major landmark, it has also become an icon of the Shenzhen skyline. But even with such great heights, it's still not the tallest building in China. That title belongs to another building, but we'll get to that soon enough. Number 4. Makkah Royal Clock Tower, Mecca, Saudi Arabia, 1,972 feet. But first, let's talk about the Makkah Royal Clock Tower in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Now, this is no ordinary clock tower. It's actually the tallest clock tower in the world. Standing at 1,972 feet, it's truly one of the greatest marvels in timekeeping. And no, it wasn't built for the sake of residences and retail. Rather, it was built exclusively for pilgrims visiting Mecca from across the globe, just so they'd know exactly when it's time for prayers. The best part is, the massive clock face is visible from miles away, and this ensures you'll never be late for prayer. Number 3. Shanghai Tower, Shanghai, China, 2,073 feet. Next is the Shanghai Tower, which is probably the best thing architecture-wise ever to come out of China. But before we talk about how tall this building is, I first have to compliment its design. It has a twisting shape that isn't just unique, but also reduces wind loads by up to 24%. Talk about being aesthetically pleasing and practical at the same time. This building was completed in 2015 and it has 128 floors of offices, hotels, and observation decks. Now, let's talk about just how tall it is. Standing at 2,073 feet above ground, this is officially the tallest building in China. Number 2. Merdeka 118, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 2,227 feet. Now it's time to go just a little bit higher, and we have the Merdeka 118 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And when I say tall, I'm talking as much as 2,227 feet. It is worth mentioning that this is one of the most recently completed buildings on the list, as it was finished in 2023. But besides its height, it also symbolizes Malaysia's independence, which makes it not only an architectural milestone, but also a national treasure. The Merdeka 118 offers a mix of office spaces and residences spread over as many as 118 floors. But even with its size and height, there's one building in the world that goes significantly higher. Number 1. Burj Khalifa, Dubai, UAE, 2,717 feet. Finally, we're at number 1. And what other building would it be if it wasn't the Burj Khalifa in Dubai? This is officially the tallest building in the world, and one of the most luxurious too. It's even been featured in the Mission Impossible movie franchise. Besides Tom Cruise, celebrities from all over the world have visited this iconic structure, including Jay-Z and Beyoncé. The magnificent edifice, which was completed in 2010, has an astonishing 168 floors, and it houses luxury residences, offices, and the world's highest observation deck. It is worth mentioning that this building took 6 years to complete on a budget of $1.5 billion. But hey, I guess the bragging rights are worth every penny. So, what do you think of these tall structures? Hit us up in the comments and let us know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing megastructure content.